Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, end of week update. I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, S&P, and Solana and Doge. So, those four tickers we going over. I'll start off with Bitcoin, of course. So, getting into it on the weekly, we can see here that since the bear market bottom, Bitcoin has been in three previous ranges. We're currently in a fourth, but the three previous ranges that has been in were an average of 22%, right? Almost 22%, not 20%, let's just say that. And the first range was back here between January and then March 2023. That took 63 days to break out. The second range was 224 days, right? That was a majority of the year. 224-day range. And then the third was a 70-day. And if you take the average of those three ranges, it's 119 days. So currently, we're on the 119th day. If you're taking it from the week, the end week of February, or if you move this over by one, well, and then one more week, this range could potentially end the beginning of July, if it's following that average of 119 days. Now, it could go over that. It could end before that as well. Um, from the looks of it, it does look like we'll pass the 119-day mark, right, in this range before breaking out to the upside. And why I think that is just because of, if I pull up market cipher here, going on the weekly, weekly stochastic is still pointed down with negative VWAP. So a little more downside is more likely. And then going into the daily time frame, we also have we're in a falling wedge as well. Money flows red. Daily stochastic is pretty beat down, and there is bullish divergence right now on the VWAP. So I think this downside that we're currently in, on this falling wedge, does end soon, possibly this coming week. But we could see a little more downside towards 62K and possibly even 60K. Okay. And I know I said before that when you deviate from a range, you typically don't come back to test that bottom side again. But it's still in books, right? And trading is a game of probabilities. So um, there's nothing too bearish about testing 60K again. It just has to hold, really. Okay. 60K, 59.5K have to hold, right? Or it's going to start looking a little fishy, right? Other than that, we're still in the same range we've been in for how long now? 112 days, just about. So it does look like a short-term bounce at least is coming soon. And why I say that is because you potentially have a bullish divergence, right, from here on market cipher momentum waves to swing high on price action potentially. And you also have bullish divergence here with price action this falling wedge with VWAP coming up, right? And you're also Bitcoin is going to print a big green dot in the daily momentum waves here soon, right? Very soon. It's going to happen very soon, in the coming days. It's going to print. So we can either this wick here we're currently having at what is that, 62,888. Maybe that's it, or we come down and hit the 382 and then start to print that green dot and start trying to at least bounce from that area. Okay, but the more this downside, choppy ass price action goes on, the more I think that Bitcoin does just go sideways for the summer, and then, or the majority of the summer, and getting into Q3, obviously Q4, but getting into Q3, we can start seeing maybe signs of a breakout coming, right? Until then, seems just like we're going to be stuck in this range, and sentiment will continue getting bearish, and people getting bored, selling, or getting funded out because price isn't going anywhere. But that's the thing, it's not going anywhere. Why are people so bearish? Beats me. It's fucking retarded. But it's usually how it always goes, right? So it is what it is. So that's it for really for Bitcoin. The key levels to watch are 62,426 and 60,175, as well as $59,458. That's the key level. Right, so I can just make a zone. Oops. Make a zone here. So the zone between 62,426 and 59,458. That is a zone to watch, okay? If we can start getting a bounce, if we hit this zone or get in it, we start to bounce from this zone, we want to start to break above the 50%, which is at 66,600, okay? Get daily closures above there, we can start targeting the upside of this range again, right? Until then, we're in the weak part of the range under the 50%. Okay, overall, we're still stuck in a range. It, in my opinion, likely resides to the upside in due time, and the bull market continues. Okay, now going on to Solana. So here I have the 3-day pulled up, and I know there's a little bit going on, but I just want to focus on the 3-day really quick. Money flow is about to go red on the 3-day time frame. Now, that could be extremely bearish or not. In my opinion, I don't think it's extremely bearish, just because if it goes red in a bull market on any time frame, it usually just means it's a reset for it to go green again and start a new uptrend. Okay, so we could have a little more downside on Solana for sure because the money flow will go red, but I don't see that downside if that happens being uh, too crazy and for too long. Because if I go back in time, just a little bit, last cycle, this happened before, that was between December 23rd, 2020 and December 29th, 2020. Okay, so it didn't last too long when money flow went from green to red, but what it reset into red, and as soon as it came back in green again, it started its new uptrend all the way down from $1.10 all the way up to $58. Okay, and ultimately it went up to $260. Right, so that's pretty fucking insane. I don't know if that happens again for Solana, and it's such a crazy game like that, but what I'm saying is if the 3-day money flow goes red, I would take it for me that it's just a reset of money flow for it to go green eventually again, probably in a quick period of time. I don't expect it being too long drawn out. Now going into the daily time frame. These green vertical lines I have, these are all times on Solana since this current bull market started, when it bottomed to $8 till now. There have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 big green dot prints on Solana. Okay, now to zoom in on the chart, I'll take this Fibonacci over here away. When these green dots printed, I mean, look at what's happened afterwards, right? Obviously, the first, 5 green dots, Solana was stuck in a range between $8 and $32, but that was an accumulation range. Okay, getting green dots in accumulation range, meaning buy signals. It's gone from $8 to $32 buy ranges all the way up to $209. And then if we go to the one in January 25th, 2024, well, it printed at $86 and Solana went up to 207. Right, the previous two, this one on April 17th, printed at 132. Obviously, it ranged a little bit more, went a little lower, but ultimately it went down to 187. So these green dots show great buying opportunities, right? As well as if this bull market is still intact, in my opinion it is, we're just in a choppy consolidation period because we've had such a crazy move up and everything. Well, historically looking at it, they present great opportunities for further upside. Okay, this is the first time that we've printed like two consecutive green ones. We can probably print three, four. That's definitely possible. I've seen it, but nonetheless, great buyer opportunities in my opinion. Not financial advice, of course, uh, but that is a decent sign that we can start to get into a bottoming range here potentially for Solana. That's where we're at right now. We did break a formation, a pennant, but I don't really take patterns into too much consideration. But that is, not the best look, right? That's a little bearish look, right? But if I take that away, what do you see? We're still in a range between 209 and 116. If we break under 116, we're going to look for a bounce at 112. If we get acceptance under 112, well, the next level to look for is around $96, $95. Okay, that's the first target after 112. If 96 breaks, well, we're going to look for 78. In my opinion, we can just make a zone of what could happen between 116 and $95. That's going to be a crucial area for Solana to hold. If that doesn't hold, it's a fishy look for Sol, in my opinion. Okay, going on to a weekly chart for Solana, we can see that, a little similar to Bitcoin, Solana weekly stochastic is still pointed down. Okay, VWAP is still negative. Momentum waves are coming out. So we could definitely have a little more downside the coming weeks, couple of weeks. Choppy, just slow grind down downside until we start to really find the bottom in Solana. Okay, and that's either going to be between 116 and $96, it looks like. Okay, just that's the short-term bearish case. Overall, we're still at higher highs and higher lows, unless Solana breaks under $78. Going on to actually, I'll go to Doge. We'll just do cryptos for now and then go to S&P. Do S&P last. So Doge daily chart. We are currently holding the range it's been in between 22 cents and 12 cents. But what I don't like here is that the daily stochastic has already come up to the top. The last time it was up at the top, price action was, around 17 cents. Now we're only at 12. Hasn't gone anywhere. That's a bearish look. So I do think Doge does break under 12 cents again, just for that sole reason that the daily stoch is already topped out. Now it's possible that it doesn't have to come down, but you can go look at any asset, any chart. When it's a downtrend and the daily stoch comes up to the overbought region and price action doesn't go past the last overbought region, right, on that daily stoch, if you get what I'm trying to say, that's usually an indication that the bearish trend will continue. Okay, likewise to the upside in the bull trend. When daily stoch resets to the downside, the oversold level, but price action is at a higher low, that's usually a good indication the bull trend or that bullish trend continues. Okay. So in the short term, I can definitely see more downside for Doge. A level to watch is going to be 10 cents. Okay, keeping it short, sweet, and simple. Doge is pretty volatile, so a little weird. It wicks a lot, but that's really the main level I'll be watching for is 10 cents on Doge. It can wick into this range too and be a little choppy, come back out, and if that happens, we can talk about it. But 10 cents is going to be the next level of support that I'm looking for on Doge. And I would take that as a buying opportunity as well, personally. not financial advice. Okay, so keep it as short and simple. Kind of a zone here. Can look for Doge to be choppy, get acceptance back in this range. If it does break this range, then we can look for more upside. Okay, but really stuff does look a little short-term bearish still, but nothing too crazy. Just got to be honest, right? A little short-term bearish, but it does present great buying opportunities. Okay, and Doge has printed 3 consecutive green dots in a row here. Um, so what I see likely happening is bullish divergences start to form on Doge. So momentum waves might come out, make a red dot, gets another big green dot. Momentum waves comes out again, and maybe another bullish div, so a lower low in price. But ultimately, what I see happening on momentum waves is it curving upwards with the money flow as well, and price action just kind of grinding down possibly a little bit, maybe chopping sideways and then grind back up. Okay, it's usually how I see these things go on Market Cipher. Going into a weekly time frame, and let me delete these little drawings. And this is what I was just saying about the stochastic. If we look on the stochastic right now, the last time stochastic was reset on the downside was what, February 5th, 2024. Price was at around 7 to 8 cents, right, in this range here. Well, weekly stochastic is reset now again. June, we're in the month of June, end of June, June 24th, June 23rd. And where's price action? It's at a higher high, right? It's at a higher low. Sorry, higher low. As of right now, it could just fucking take and go under 8 cents. That's definitely possible. Not likely though. What likely happens is Doge maybe bottoms out in this range somewhere here, and that would be a bullish divergence. A higher low with stochastic reset, right? That would be a stochastic bullish divergence. Okay? So while people fun and everything and shit their pants and grind, you gotta be buying that dip, right? Okay, so that's Doge. Short term more downside, but ultimately we're likely getting in the bottom of this or the end of this correction period for some of these coins. It's just a game of patience. Now going on to the S&P 500, last chart to go over here. I have the daily pulled up. So we've back tested the 1.618 at $542, just about 543 basically. We could start to bounce here for sure. But we do have a gap fill between, let me just make it exact, get the magnet and rectangle out. It's going to be between $539 and $536. That's going to be an area of support I would definitely look for, and maybe some decent reaction opportunities there on the S&P. But I can also take a Fibonacci from this daily high to the low of this move. And what do you see? The golden pocket is inside that gap fill. Okay, so there's some heavy confluence there. If the S&P does break under 542, your likely area to get hit because of confluence is going to be this golden pocket, $539 to $538 for the SPY. Okay, but that's a little short-term bearish again. Ultimately, likely would just be a higher low before grinding on upwards. Okay, continuing the bull trend. It could also come back a little deeper to the 0.5 and between the 382 and 236, $530, $525. Okay, from the swing high here at 550, a golden pocket hit would be maybe 2%, just about 2%. 50% would be almost 3%. 0.382 would be 3.5. The 236 could be a 4% move. That is perfectly fine for higher lows in the bullish market for the S&P 500. Okay, there's nothing crazy about that. So deleting that fib, I'll leave the zone up there, that gap fill, and golden pocket level. What do we see here on the daily time frame for S&P? Currently, in the short term, there's no bearish divergences on S&P 500 momentum waves. There is bearish divergence on money flow, but like I said, money flow could go red. That just means it's a reset for it to go higher into green again if the bull trend continues with great strength. We did print a red dot off this daily high, June 20th, and stochastic is pointed down, VWAP is negative. So in the short term, I could see more downside for S&P, but I don't believe the top was put in at 550. Okay, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying look for daily higher lows for it to make higher highs again. Okay, keeping it short and simple. Weekly chart, we do have a little weekly wick there, right? So if I look at the EMAs, we might be getting extended. Yeah, so the weekly EMA is getting extended for price action, but we could continue higher still, just a little bit longer, right? Before coming back and meeting the weekly 21 EMA. But ultimately, weekly stochastic is still pointed up. Daily is just showing a little short-term bearish price action that can happen before, obviously, this bull trend likely continues on the S&P. Okay, guys. So with that being said, thank you. I'll see you in the next video. I know short-term bearish. I don't like being bearish. But short-term bearish price action, really across the board, equities and or the S&P and crypto. But it's the summertime. It's usually what happens. We chop around. People get bored out. Sentiment fucking flips, goes crazy. Usually, though, in the bull market, you take that as opportunities. Not financial advice. Peace out, guys. See you in the next one.